Hi all, welcome to my next Flosstube video. My name's Sally here at Dark Elves Crafty Corner. Thank you for visiting today. I've got quite a bit to talk about. I've got my September statistics and I'm really excited to show you my Heaven and Earth stitch along. I've had quite a bit of progress on that and I have worked on a few other little pieces as well. So yeah, let's get into it. Just before we start, I have been unwell over the past week or so. It really knocked me about on the middle and beginning of last week. I say middle and beginning, it was pretty much the whole week. I was still really rough over the weekend as well. So I'm going to try my best to edit out any coughing or sniffing, anything like that. But there might be a couple of little sniffles or me taking a drink more often than usual. So I just wanted to point that out and apologise if that's something that gets on your nerves. So I'm really sorry about that. First of all, I want to go over my September statistics, including the whip go and how many stitches I've just completed altogether. The dog is molting really bad at the minute, and every now and then I can just see a little wisp of her fur go past my eyes or on my t-shirt. It's driving me nuts. But yeah, regardless of that, if you just see me look away, that's probably what I'm looking at. So in regards to the September statistics, I managed to do 8,273 stitches in total. It looks like that's round my average for each month. I went to my stitch retreat in September, so I'd have expected it to be a few more, but after I came back, I did mention in my last video, after I came back I didn't stitch for about 2 weeks afterwards. Sorry, I was just looking at this to see if there was what my average was, and it is about 8 to 10,000. But yeah, I didn't stitch for about 2 weeks afterwards, just because I was going on holiday and just doing different pieces, different things, didn't get time to stitch. So I'm still glad that I managed to keep up my average of 8,000 stitches. So obviously my main focus in September is my Heaven and Earth stitch along. And I managed to do 7,542 stitches on that in September. So it was a huge chunk of my stitching in September. So I'm really happy with that. I will get to show you that in a second. I'm so excited to talk about that. The whip go for the month was, it was a bit of a cop out because it was to work on a piece with an animal on it, and that both numbers for that was called, so I had that listed twice on my whip go board and both numbers were the same. I discussed it in my last video as well. Every piece I own has an animal on it, I realised, so it was that was a completely pointless thing to put on my whip go board. I didn't think about it at the time. I'd only thought about a couple of the pieces I have. So yeah, that definitely won't be going on my whip go board next year, but I managed to do it, and I did split it into 2 different ones. I worked on my Heaven and Earth stitch along, which is obviously the bunny, and I also worked on my winter fox in September as well. So yeah, I was quite happy with that. So plans for October, the whip go numbers that were called was 6 and 17. For me, 6 was 1,000 stitches on free choice, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to pick my Heaven and Earth stitch along just because I'm focusing on that. And the other one was 17, finish a small project. I'm really doubtful that I'm going to actually get that one completed. There's only 2 or 3 smaller projects that I have, and to be honest, none are near completion. I thought my moth project was quite close, but when I looked at the numbers, I think I'm on 58%, and it's not a tiny project. The other project I have is my cat project, which I will show you in a little bit because I've done some work on that. That's not close to finish either, and I don't really want to rush that because I enjoy doing that when I've got a bit tired of my larger projects. So there's other projects I could start after it, so I could get that, make sure that's finished. But I don't really want to rush that and get that finished just for the sake of whip go. I'll try and get some done throughout the month, but I think this is going to be the first whip go number that I'm not going to complete for this year, so that's a bit disappointing. I'd like to get all of them, but we never know where the month takes us. I might want to work on that more often. I might want to finish my moth. We never know, but it's quite unlikely that that'll get finished. Yeah, those are the only two projects that have that are little. I did have a look through the rest of my stash, and none of them are small or close to finish. I suppose I could start another smaller project. I've got some of the my desk's a mess, so I've got one to hand. I've got some of the Hobbycraft little card things. So I could try and get one of those done. I did start this one actually. Oh, this is absolutely covered in cat fur. Dog fur and cat fur is just, if you come to this house, that's what you're going to get covered with. But yeah, I did actually start one of these. So I could try and get one of those finished, could try and get that one done. But I don't want to start rushing things and trying to do things that I don't want to, if just for the sake of getting a challenge done. It's not something I enjoy doing, so who knows. Obviously the 1,000 on free choice will be the bunny, as I've already said, and that'll be, unless something goes drastically wrong, then that will be an easy one to do. So again, I might change that for whip go next year, because that's a bit of an easy one. I can just claim that I want to do a certain one and have that finished. So yeah. So on to the actual stitching. Since my last video, I've had a look and I managed to get 5,345 stitches done on my Heaven and Earth stitch along. What I've decided, if you've already watched me, you'll know that what I've decided to do is focus just on getting the full 6 pages complete by the end of the year, to be able to get the other charts that were available in a stitch along, rather than fully focus on a finish. I'm so proud of the progress I've made since the last video. Since the last video, I've managed to complete 2 full pages. I say complete 2 full pages. They are the full ones, but I haven't just done that. So there was stitches in them before. I haven't done 2 complete pages from scratch, if that makes sense. And I'm very close to my 3rd. So here is the progress. I think you can see that. Yeah. So what I did was, this page was already finished. No, was it? How many was there? No. So this page still needed a couple of stitches to get finished down here. And then I've also finished this page. And now I am working on this page. And then when those pages are, well, that last page is complete, then I will have completed the 6 pages needed to get the rest of the charts. There is quite a few stitches left on this. I think the page ends around here. So I think it's from here to about here. What I like to do is, I don't like just finishing a thread just because it's at the end of the page. So what I'll do with a lot of these ones that are carrying on further down, as you can see, lots of them come further down. I didn't want to just finish the page and then end it. If there was 1 or 2 stitches here and then it carried on down here, then I ended it. But most of them just carried on a little bit further because it's the light section of the cabbage. So it's all of like these kind of colours. So that'll carry on down a little bit and then it'll start getting darker. So I'm so proud that I've managed to get the 2 pages done since my last video. So since 2 weeks ago, I've finished the 2 pages. Obviously being off last week from work made it a lot easier to do. I was so sick. Normally colds don't really affect me all that much. I'll get the sniffles, I'll have the cough, I'll have a bit of a sore throat, but in terms of getting around and doing stuff, I'm usually fine, whereas this completely knocked me off my feet. I know there's been comments about COVID going around, a new strain of COVID. I did a test and it was negative, but it could have been wrong, or the new strain could not get picked up on these ones. I'm not 100% sure how it works, so that could be something that happens. It might not be, I might have it completely wrong. But I was so sick, so on the Wednesday I just didn't want to really do anything. But on the Thursday and Friday I was feeling a little bit better, but I was still completely locked off my feet, so I just stitched for most of the days. I think it was the beginning of the week and Thursday and Friday that I managed to get the 2 pages finished. Like I finished the one earlier in the week and then finished the other one later. But yeah, I've carried on working on this. I moved the frame over, so when I was working over here, obviously it was here, because the stitches for the page, like I said, end here, and the frame was coming up quite close, so I've decided to move it over. And then what I'll do is I will work on this section. When I've finished here, when I finish this 6th page, I'll start working on this section and start working down. And then I can start working on the flower, because there's still another full 3 pages and then a tiny bit at the bottom to finish. But I have started working on the flower. The colours here are really nice. I really like the glow on that little firefly. I don't know what it is, but that one has come out really nice. I mean, there's some up here. There's that one and that one and that one. Sometimes when I look at them, I just feel they look like I've put the wrong colour in sometimes. It might be one of those where because I'm up close to it, that's why it looks that way. But sometimes I'm really not a fan of them. whereas that one came out really nice. We have got a few zeros on it as well. So I've managed to get 3 zeros completed, and now because the whole of the my tablet's gone strange. Because the whole of the pattern has been released, it means that that's 100% now. There's no chance of it coming out again. There's no chance of another another of that colour coming out in the next instalment, because there's not going to be one. So just while I'm onto that as well, I've just realised, so the total that I have now, so the total number of stitches in the project, all updated on Pattern Keeper now, is 85,264. I've done 47,225 altogether, and that brings me to 55.39%. So I'm really happy where I am with this. I know that I've babbled on a lot about this in this video, so I apologise if this stitch along really hasn't interested you at all, because that's been quite a bit. But yeah, I'm so proud of where that's going, and I'm really enjoying working on it. I said in a previous video that I did feel a little bit burnt out by it at one point, so I started working on a couple of other things, but now I'm loving it again. I'm loving all the different colours, loving the feeling that the bunny is nearly completed. Not sure, I was a bit worried about having the bunny completed fully and just having the cabbage to go, because I thought that was going to end up being really boring to do. But obviously there's a flower and the snail a bit further down, so I think there's still a nice bit of variety that I'll be able to do. But yeah, that's my Heaven and Earth stitch along. So yeah, I'm so proud of that, just so proud. So next up is the cat pattern that I was talking about earlier. It hasn't got a name, it's from the Cross Stitch with Catitude book. I've just labelled it as I do what I want. I still haven't started any of the writing on it. What I'm doing is focusing on getting all of this bit done, and then I'll move the hoop down and start working on the writing. So since the last video I have got quite a bit done. I've got all of his face and the eyes. I haven't finished this eye and the ear yet, so that still looks a little bit strange. I'm not sure if that bit was already done previously, I can't remember. There's another colour that I think I have, but it's just hidden in my stash. It's not been in the bag with it. So I wanted to start on that colour, but I couldn't because I'm not sure where it is, to be honest. So I'm really happy with that. Because it is a paper chart, I don't keep my stitch count on this because I don't like to just keep adding them up as I go along. I just like it to be an easy breezy stitch, not much to concentrate on, so I don't really bother with that. But yeah, really happy with how that one's coming out. It'd be nice to get some more done in the clouds, and that's going to be a mug, and then the writing comes down further here. So yeah, really loving that. So the other day I fancied working on a different project to my stitch along, and I chose Peacock Liaison. When I first got it out the bag, I was looking because I started this one in the middle of the pattern. Normally I'll start top left, but there was a lot of confetti in the top left and it was a bit overwhelming to look at which bits I wanted to start at. It was going to be a bit difficult because there was no sort of anchor colour next to each other. So for very first top left, there wasn't one for five counted squares away, so like 50 stitches or sort of that kind of thing. It was I do have it on gridded fabric, so it's not ridiculous to do, but it's still not the nicest thing to do. I still managed to miscount even with it being gridded. So what I chose to do with Peacock Liaison was start in the middle, and I wanted to work on one of the actual peacocks, and it comes out, it's just so beautiful. So I'd already done the actual peacock, well, part of it, previously, and I wanted to work on it yesterday. And again, I was looking at it, I was still ill, and I just wanted something nice and not overly simple, but I didn't want to be counting too much as to find out where it was, my next stitch was. And where I chose to start was nearly just as bad as the corner. It was, there's so much confetti, even just moving across a little bit. So there's some stitches, there's some lines where there's one and then leave three, and then there's one or two and then leave some, and I just wasn't in the mood for that. I just wanted something blocky, something simple. So what I did was I had a look on the mock-up at where some of the blockier colours are, and I decided to move the frame up and work on one of the lanterns. So yesterday I was working, I did fill in some of the face. There was some of the face that needed to be filled in, and then there's two colours here. And personally, I cannot tell the difference. I'm not sure if you can on camera. Probably doubt it though. But yeah, there's still quite a few stitches that need to be filled in that I have a feeling you won't even be able to tell that they're different colours. I'll still do it, I'll still keep to the pattern because that's what I like to do. But I couldn't be bothered to do that yesterday, so I decided to move the frame and work to the top. So this is the very top of the pattern, this line here. And there's this beautiful orange lantern that comes in here, and it's just block heaven. There's this bit that carries down a little bit, and then there's like one gap and then another block upwards. It was exactly the kind of thing that I wanted to work on. And yesterday I did 590 stitches on that, and it's the only day that I've worked on it, so it's only 590 stitches since you've last seen it. I'm still struggling with where to put my fabric when it's folded in. I think for what I'm doing at the moment, I've done an okay job. but it just means that I can't really work any further than here because it starts getting to where the back is. I can't really move this over to this side because that's where it attaches to my Lowry. So I don't want my fabric going into my Lowry. I don't know if it does affect it, if it doesn't, or what happens with it, but I just don't really want it being stuck inside my Lowry. I think I tried it before, and because of it being fabric, the Q-snap just came out of the Lowry really easy. So that was causing a bit of problems with it. So at the moment I think I'm happy with how it's working. I'll carry on. I think where I am at the moment, where I've got my frame at the moment, works really well because you have these blocky sections, and then here you've got like the plumage, the head plumage kind of thing on the peacock. So there's a bit of confetti here, and then across there's another lantern, I believe. So there's more blocky sections over here. So I think at the moment it'll be a really nice area to work on because there's so much variety if I want to do any confetti stitches or if I want to do blocky sections. There's both available. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. And I'm still really chuffed with my little peacock needle minder. Absolutely love that. So yeah, I'm really chuffed. So that's all the stitching that I have done since my last video. There's not really much that I want to talk about in regards to anything else after, just a couple of things. I showed in my last video, I bought some of these hand dyed, over dyed flosses, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to work on with them. I think I may have found a pattern. It's a really simple one, so it sounds ridiculous, but I'm not sure if I'd be wasting them on such a small pattern. So I'll put the picture up here and the shop it's from. I believe it's Pandora X Stitch on Etsy that I got it from, but I will put underneath what shop it is just to make 100% sure. I've got their, whichever shop it is, I've got their entire shop collection. There's an option you can buy it and it just gives you their, I think it's Dropbox or Google Drive for all of the patterns that they have. And I thought this one would be a really nice one to do it. I was planning on doing it on black fabric and maybe this, let's see if I can find it in the 3 packets. Sorry about the rustling. So I was thinking of maybe doing it in this colour, or there is a slightly darker one as well. So there's these 2 that I could do it in as well, one of those. And I thought because of it being so basic, it's such a simple pattern, I thought it might look really nice to be done in one of those. But like I say, I was really worried about wasting the thread because of it not being such a big pattern. I know a lot of people use those sort of threads on big like long dogs and those sort of things. So there was another thing as well. I wasn't 100% sure how it works because obviously the colours might sound ridiculous, but I've never worked with them before, so not 100% sure how to use them to the best. I know that if you need 2 strands, you don't fold it over like you would normal loop. You do need to use the 2 strands to keep the colour the same. But I was thinking once you finish those, you still have certain amount of pieces left of where you've cut it. So do you use those, or do you cut another length and carry on using it to make the pattern flow? I really wasn't sure about it. But yeah, I was thinking about using that moth pattern for it. So even that could be the one to finish a small project for the month. If I do decide to go ahead with that. So yeah, look, I was looking forward to that. I thought that might be quite nice to have a look into. So that's everything I have all together to speak about today. As I've said quite a few times in the video. I'm really proud of the progress that I've managed to do on my stitch along, and I'm glad to get my Peacock Liaison pattern back out. I've been really enjoying that. So yeah, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. If there's anything you'd like to say or ask, then please leave it in the comments. I do love to read them and I'll reply to them all as soon as possible. Again, if you like the video, please like and subscribe. I'd love to see you again, and yeah, happy stitching. Bye.